So you may have heard we have a new spanner in the works with regards to Jeremy Corbyn's leadership. Someone that in his own word is doing little each day to get rid of Jeremy Corbyn. And Jeremy Corbyn, of course, arguably is against the establishment. And if we have an MP that is against the establishment, why would Peter Mandleson want to get rid of him? Well, the answer may not be what you think, and it may come as a surprise to some of you. But first, once again, I give you proof that the Conservatives do not actually want to save the NHS. Both coming up next. Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour Party led by a man who wants to give back to the people, wants to save the NHS. We all know that. Hopefully we all want that. The Conservatives want to save the NHS as well, don't they? That's what they're saying. Politicians never do lie, do they? My last video proves that they do. Ever heard of MP Malcolm Rifkind? His Prime Minister at the time was David Cameron. Well, back in 2015, he sat on the board of a private healthcare company called Alliance Medical. And despite the NHS Trust putting in a bid to win a contract to provide cancer scan services, and they were £7 million cheaper on a bid by the private healthcare company, but guess what? Yeah, the private healthcare company won the contract. Strange, isn't it? The NHS Trust that runs Royal Stoke University Hospital in Staffordshire joined with other NHS hospitals to enter what they called a competitive bid to run scans across Cheshire, Staffordshire, Shropshire, Liverpool and Lancashire for 10 years no less. The scans, known as PET-CT, are mostly used for diagnosing and measuring cancers. But lo and behold, NHS England, the head office of the health service, rejected the bid from state-run providers and instead awarded the contract to Alliance Medical, a private healthcare firm whose board members include, as I said, leading Conservative at the time, MP Malcolm Rifkind. But this is where this gets interesting. As I said, it was a while ago, but it does give an indication as to what is going on. But the interesting bit, Conservative MP Malcolm Rifkind at the time got around £60,000 a year to sit on Alliance Medical's board, according to public records. He was again at the time a backbencher in a government whose health policy was enriching his own company. Alliance Medical again at the time had a turnover of around £120 million a year. So this scanning contract, which was worth an estimated £8 million a year, is a significant part of their work at the time. Alliance Medical said Rifkind was not involved in the bid. That's the first part of skullduggery out of the way, and now on to what I mentioned at the top. Peter Mandleson, why does he want Corbyn out? He says Corbyn is a maniac. Well, for trying to save the NHS, trying to promote social housing in the way it should be promoted. This from an MP that not had to resign once, but twice. So why does he want Corbyn out? He has said and urged other MPs to the point of agreeing that Brexit is not good for Britain. But think for a moment what Corbyn is about. He is certainly on face value against the establishment. Now many of us know in great detail what that means, and I mean great detail. So when you get to know who the friends of Mandleson are and who he is cozying up with, it becomes somewhat clearer why he wants Corbyn out. Oleg Deripaska, and I may have pronounced that name wrong, but have you heard of him? He is a Russian billionaire, and Mandleson has met him quite a few times, and quite a few times he has sought business advice from Deripaska. Deripaska is one of the world's largest aluminium producers, and he's a friend with the Rothschilds. Now Mandleson has had dinners with the Rothschilds and Deripaska. Remember when Mandleson was EU Trade Commissioner? Well, Mandleson had a role in EU aluminium import tariffs, and Rusal, Deripaska's company, exported aluminium into the EU. But in 2005, Rusal was selling 2 plants to the American aluminium giant Alcoa. And to celebrate the £500 million deal, they had a meal with the company. Now consider it was in a private room. Yes, private room. Mandleson and Nathaniel Rothschild just happened to stumble in. This was reported by the Mail, who Nathaniel took to court, which he subsequently lost, by the way. He has been in private jets with the Rothschilds, that's Mandleson. Both he and George Osborne have been on holiday together with the Rothschilds. Allegedly, George Osborne tried to get what we call a donation from Deripaska to the tune of £50,000. Then Nathaniel wrote a letter to the Times newspaper in which he claimed that Osborne had tried to solicit the donation. And why did he do this? Well, a newspaper reported that Mandleson had slagged off the then Prime Minister Gordon Brown during dinner at Villa Rothschild. And this is what Mandleson gets mixed up with in his own little deceiving lie-based world. And as a result of all these connections, guess what? When Lord Mandleson left politics following Labour's 2010 general election defeat, and after all these liaisons with Rothschilds and Deripaska, he bought himself an £8 million London mansion and established a trading company. It's coming on contacts he made during his years of public service, particularly in Russia. So is Corbyn a maniac, or is in fact Mandleson? You decide. Corbyn is, as I said at the beginning, against the establishment. It could be argued the names I have mentioned are part of the establishment, and for me that's the reason why they want him out. Dare I say this, Theresa May, David Cameron, Tony Blair and Gordon Brown are in fact all connected in their agendas. They are really only one party, but devised as two just to yet again keep us in check. A majority of MPs genuinely want to make a difference, and sometimes someone comes along, breaks through and offers themselves up to make that difference. I say again, as I have always said, MPs work for us. The government is our voice. If someone is offering back services to its people and not corporate giants only out to make a profit at any cost, why wouldn't you support that? Even as a member of the public, as a voter. Certainly in the case of MPs that don't or won't, look a bit deeper. Quite often you'll get the reason why they won't. Get to the reason why they want rid of someone who does support these values. And more often than not, you will come up with a few names and a few reasons to clarify what you're thinking. That is all I done with this episode. There had to be more behind why Mandleson wants Corbyn out. Took me a couple of days, but be patient and you'll find what's behind that curtain. Because united, I really believe we can have a better society and a better political system. Click the thumbs up if you like this video. Click subscribe for more content like this. This is your channel, not just mine. So if you have any comments, join in and say what you think in the box below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.